Go to America now to speak to Matthew Bryza, who is a former White House official in the Obama administration. Matthew, great to talk to you. We have quite a number of stories today. Carns, one of the defence ministers here in the UK, talking about Britain dependent on US security guarantees for the last 60 years, and we cannot rely on them any longer. There are clearly fissures, and have been for some time, between the United States and the UK. Where do you see this going necessarily, and is our defence minister right to say that, do you think, Matthew?
Yeah, Peter, I do think he's right. And as you won't remember, probably way back in February, on the margins of the Munich Security Conference, we had a conversation about the shocking first sign of such a fissure between the United States and its European allies. At that time, you'll recall, Vice President J.D. Vance gave a speech in which he was highly condemned European countries, especially Germany, for not allowing far-right speech. And now President Trump has really amped up that approach. And in the latest national security strategy, it is written that he believes Europe faces, what do they call it, civilizational erasure because of political correctness and wokeness and overregulation. And that the United States wants Europe to be strong, wants it to be great, but Europe needs to take care of its own security. And the United States wants a stable relationship with Russia. So that is a massive shift in American foreign policy since the late 1940s. And I think under Trump, that fissure will continue.
And the national security strategy that has come out, certainly has been leaked anyway, this kind of idea of making Europe great again under Donald Trump. A lot of countries, including our own, quite worried about this in many parts of the establishment, thinking about Donald Trump overreach perhaps, and apparently urging the United States to encourage Austria, Italy, Hungary and Poland to move closer to the American orbit by quitting the EU. Do you think that's likely?
I think it's impossible. I began my diplomatic career in Poland, and I'm a Polish American. And getting into the European institutions was a dream beyond imagination for Poles during the communist period. And once they got in, they were never going to go out. Okay, the Poles, they're annoyed by the way the European Union has reacted to, from the EU's perspective, Poland's violation of certain principles on democracy and the choice of judges. But no, I don't think it's likely at all. But it's not surprising that Trump said that. I mean, from one perspective, it's crazy that any American leader would try to sort of encourage the dismantlement of the EU. But on the other hand, President Trump has long said that not only that he dislikes the EU, but he said its entire reason for being was to, as he put it, screw the United States. So, he doesn't like multilateral
So weakening it in any way is within his interest. But he think that's in the interest of these countries as well. I mean, is that specifically because of views to do with those countries, or just that he perhaps thinks they're the most likely to listen to him when it comes to EU withdrawal?
I think he thinks they're the most likely to listen because Poland has had this dispute with the European Union for the last several years over independence of judges. Austria is kind of always in the middle, and it's hard to predict whether or not they even are clear on whether their strategic orientation is more east or west. Italy has a far-right government, or Giorgia Meloni. So I think he thinks those are possibilities. And Hungary, of course, I mean, the EU is sort of at political war with Viktor Orban, and Trump and Orban really get along. And Hungary being the closest country in Europe to Russia. So I think Trump was he's looking for low-hanging fruit, but I don't think those countries are gonna leave, though they have, as the UK proved. They have the right to leave if they so decide. Absolutely
correct. I don't always support what the Trump administration does, but I think I can almost 100% support this idea. This is reporting by Reuters, the news agency, saying that officials within the Trump administration have held advanced discussions on hitting the US Palestinian Refugee Agency, UNRWA, with terrorism-related sanctions. That's apparently the State Department warning of that. Given what UNRWA has been involved with, the fact that Hamas has infiltrated it to such a huge degree, the fact that Hamas terrorists were part of UNRWA, and the fact that it teaches in its UNRWA schools children in Palestine, in the Palestinian territories, certainly in Gaza anyway, were taught to hate Jews and hate Israel, I think that's something I can probably support. I just wonder how likely you think that is and what you make of those reports.
Well, I mean, there's long before October 7th, there was great concern in Israel about UNRWA being used to advance terrorist causes. So put it that way. I remember 15 years ago reading about that. I don't think, you would never get a Security Council resolution that would designate UNRWA a terrorist organization because it's a UN organization,
Yes,
and there
yes.
will always be those who oppose that.
Yeah.
But still, it's a powerful signal that having members of Hamas be operatives in the organization, that is utterly unacceptable.
Yeah. Listen, thank you very much, Matthew. Always good to talk to you. Matthew Bryza there, former White House official in the Obama administration. Gavin.